Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us on our Delivering Growth for Your Region presentation. Firstly, just to introduce myself, my name's Jane Rexworthy. I head up the National Skills Academy for Retail and also a director at People First, which is our parent organisation. Today's presentation is really about demonstrating with you some of the areas of support that we can provide, and also giving you a sort of a feel for some of the strategy that we've been working on around developing solutions for small businesses. So today you're going to hear from myself, and you'll also hear from my colleague Tracy Duggan, who heads up our product development, about our really exciting brand new program, the Digital High Street program, which was launched last week at the Leicester Space Centre. So first of all, I just want to take you through what we as an organisation do and how that might fit in with your own local regional agendas. Now, just to say to you that we have at this point muted you, so you will get an opportunity to put hands up, type questions, and also at the end we will have a questions and answers session, and we will also be asking you a few questions through the presentation. And so please do participate in that. After we've completed the presentations, there'll be also an opportunity for us to speak with you individually, and we'll pass you our details, contact details. And we will also send out the presentations that we're going to share with you today and any links to video links that we have as well. So firstly, just to tell you a little bit about People First. So for those of you that know us, I'll be sort of telling you a little bit again, but hopefully expanding on that. But for those that don't, then People First is the skills and workforce development charity for the hospitality, passenger transport, retail, leisure and travel and tourism industries, focusing on transforming skills in the sector through the development of world-class qualifications in management and leadership, customer service and craft skills. The People First training company that we have, and along with the National Skills Academy for Retail, is focused on developing and delivering training products that meet the skills needs of employers within the industry. And the National Skills Academy itself has a network of over 50 skill shops across the whole of the UK that provide that support locally and in a region. So we are the skills experts for the tourism and visitor economy. We've been running for over 10 years. And our industry, most importantly, accounts for 1 in 5 jobs in the UK, over 20% of the workforce that work in those service sectors, and we employ almost 6 million people. So we are a really important sector, and we sit on every high street in every location, whether it's our retail, cafe, hospitality, hotel, leisure tourism experience or business that you see in those areas. Those industries contribute already just under 500 billion per year to the UK economy. It's a huge amount of revenue that this and our industries contribute, and really important to say that now it's not just about local, but actually it's the global opportunities, and that's what one of our products that we're going to talk to you today about can really address. We also have a lot of experience in working with local partners. We've been doing that for many years, and what's very important is working with you on local initiatives that make sense for your area, your community, the people in your workplaces. And just as an example, last year we supported over 3,500 unemployed people into work, saving the UK £12.5 million. And so we really are about supporting you in developing your strategies, and we know that for many of you that's where you are at the moment, whether you're working in a local authority, town centre partnership or the local enterprise partnership. So in terms of rounding and summarising that, we are about getting people into work, providing those great opportunities. Our sector provides a vast array of careers and also no wrong door. People can join our sector from a very early age, and they can come from other sectors into our industry and develop their skills in whether it's from shop floor or in head office functions, and again come in at different times. And obviously apprenticeships are incredibly important to our sectors. We also provide business support, so it's about the entrepreneurs. Many of the small businesses in this country work in the service sector. Our industry particularly supports that. We are a nation of shopkeepers. Our tourism and hospitality is incredibly important to the economy now and in the future. And what we do is we work with organisations, with businesses, to ensure that any training programmes meet the required needs and standards. And so we support business in accessing training and development through accredited and approved providers, whether that's our network of skill shops across the UK or through our licensed specialist training providers that we work with on some of the more niche areas of our industry. We also provide research, so where in your localities and regions you are wanting to better understand the needs and requirements of the sector in those areas, then we can help you and support you. And we've worked in hundreds of locations across the UK with a variety of different research processes to help you better understand and develop your strategies. What I wanted to focus in is just the real importance, and something that a report that came out just over a month ago, the Biz Select Committee report on the retail sector, and to share with you what the Select Committee felt was going to be crucial for government to address in the near future. And I think this has a huge impact on the way that strategies are developed for not only the retail but the whole of the visitor economy. And what this report suggests is that retail should be given priority and focus at a local level. So there is a recognition that actually within retail and the visitor economy, in the strategies that have been developed by local enterprise partnerships, actually only a third of those partnerships at the moment actually have retail and the visitor economy as a priority. And so there's a push from government to say, please recognise the size and opportunity of these sectors to support your local vibrancy. So government is calling on all 39 local enterprise partnerships to develop that strategy for retail. We've already started several pieces of work with local enterprise partnerships around supporting their development, looking at local needs and requirements, but also bringing in that national flavour to demonstrate just what it is that the industry is requiring on a skills and business support at this point. They also say that LEPs should appoint a retail representative on their boards to demonstrate the commitment to the sector. Again, we work with the industry very closely and are very happy to support you in nominating the relevant individuals to ensure that your boards have the right mix of sectors. And then finally, government said that the industry should focus on and support the development of digital skills within the sector. And as you know, that's going to be ever more important as we move from a local economy to a global and take up the opportunities that the digital world now holds for our businesses. I wanted to mention to you one of the programs that we run, and you'll see the link when we get to talk about the launch of Independence Day later on in our presentation. World Host has been one of our most successful industry-led customer service programs that I think we've ever seen in the UK, and I have been in training and development for over 30 years, and in that time it's been very hard to see how we can set a standard in the UK. The World Host Customer Service Programme was originally used at the Canadian Winter Olympics in 2010. We brought that programme over in readiness for the London Olympics and also to support our small businesses and national businesses across the whole of the UK. Game makers at the London Olympics went through the programme, and as you know, and a resounding success of the games was the fact that the games makers made it, and that was because the service levels they offered to our visitors was exceptional and mentioned on pretty much every occasion that the Olympics were in the media. Almost 1 million people already in over 20 countries have completed this program. Within the retail sector, we have a specific set of programs based around the principles of the customer service, sales powered by service, and frontline management, which really is about getting our businesses to be better at providing that consistency of service to the customers, whether it's front-facing, on the phone, through the internet. And we provide similar packages and programs for hospitality, passenger transport, tourism and leisure. And we're delighted that actually last month the city of Derry in Northern Ireland was the first region to actually be able to say that they had destination status. And one of our campaigns is to make sure that every region in the UK actually is working towards providing that same level of service that we all want to see when we're out visiting our localities, remembering that our high streets have to be about an experience now, and we're told that in all the research and reports that we've been seeing recently. This is just to provide the types of case study. What's very important for any of our training is that what difference does it make? And one of the things with the World Host Programme is about what difference does it make to the bottom line. And what we saw in Cheshire Oaks, which were one of the first shopping centres to actually go through the programme, was that the businesses that had gone through the programme were measured pre and post course and experienced a 10% increase in sales. Now that type of return on investment is incredibly valuable to any of our businesses today. And we'll be sharing with you later the success that we've already seen in our pilot phase of our digital high street programme. So a challenge to you is get your towns and high streets world hosted, get them to become a destination and a place of choice for your consumers. So I'm going to now hand over to my colleague Tracy Duggan, who's going to talk you through the exciting new digital high street programme.
Good afternoon, everybody. Can everybody hear me? Now is the time that your audience participation is going to be coming into action. So if you can just type a yes in the little chat box, that just lets me know that you're all still awake out there. Hopefully you can all hear me. Excellent, excellent. Okay, we are going to have another little bit of audience participation now. And what I wanted to do before I started to take you through the presentation about digital high street skills and how we are trying to help you and our stakeholders bridge the digital divide by helping our small businesses out there get online and maximise from the huge opportunity that the internet and being online actually provides them. So before I do that, I want to take you through a little bit of a taster, and it's an opening that we would use on all of the modules that I'm going to be talking you through a little later on. And what we do at the start of each of our programs is to get a feel for how the small businesses that are actually on the program are actually feeling about the overall digital arena. And on our third module, which is all about social media, we actually ask them to stand up and to move to one area of the room depending on how good they feel they are about working with digital media and social media. So I'm going to ask you now, we're going to put a little poll up, and what I want you to do is for us to just get a feel for how many people we've got to call, to how comfortable you are with actually using social media. Now, we would normally ask them about social media for themselves personally and also about their business. But in this instance, if you can just say how comfortable you are using social media for yourself, that will give us a good indication. So if you would like to select whether you are cold means that you don't really use social media and you're a bit of a novice. Warm means you maybe tinker a little bit with Facebook, you've never really tweeted, and you might have a LinkedIn page, but you don't really use it. And hot means you're tweeting probably 2 to 3 times a day, you're using Facebook all the time, you've got a Google Plus account, and you're well into Pinterest and some of the other social media avenues that are available. So if I could ask you to vote now, that would be great. And then in a moment's time, we'll be able to show you where you all feel you are in terms of social media. I'm not sure. This is new technology for us, so I'm not sure how soon we'll be able to show you the poll. There we go. Right, so we've got some really good social media experts with us, I think, today. So that's really impressive. And that's really, really good, because what we would do at that point, once we get the results from the audience in terms of where they feel they are, is we would generally pair them up with somebody. So if we had somebody that was cold, we would pair them up with somebody that was hot, so that they can then start to work together to share their knowledge on the program. So thank you very much for that. Okay, hope that gives you a flavour for the type of program that we've developed, and after the presentation you'll have a much clearer understanding of where we are and what we've actually developed in order to support the small businesses going forward. So my presentation is all about bridging the digital divide, and by that I mean the digital divide between the large and the small businesses out there. On the screen now you'll see a quote from Martha Lane Fox, who's the co-founder of Go On UK, and she was the co-founder of lastminute.com. Go On UK is an organisation that's been supported by government to help bridge the digital divide across the country, not just for our businesses but for charities and for individuals. And you can see on there, it's a powerful quote: "The enormous power digitisation has to transform our economic, social and civic worlds are still ignored, and the 63 billion potential GDP uplift is eye-catching." I'm not going to read out all of the quote because you can see it there, and we will send out these presentations for you afterwards so that you can actually refer back to some of the statistics if you want to. There is a really useful report, and where I've taken these statistics from, and it's on the Go On UK website, so if you do get a chance, it's worth a look. And it's the Britain's Digital Opportunity, and it's a report by Lloyds Banking Group. And as you can see, there's a real invalid reason as to why we actually wanted to develop this program. We've got 4.9 million small businesses out there. 99.9% of those are SMEs, and they turn over £1,500 billion. Really importantly, there's only 36% of those businesses. 36% of those businesses don't actually have a website. And of the 64% that do, there's only 15% of them that actually have no functionality at all. Throughout the program, the Digital High Street Skills program, what we don't do is we don't try and make everybody feel that they've got to have their own e-commerce website, because that's not the case. What we try to do is to show them that they have to have an online presence, and again, I'll be talking a little bit more about that in a short while. So what we've also done is look at what the skills needs were for those businesses, because whilst there might be a need in terms of the economy and the GDP, if businesses don't actually recognise it, we're going to hit a stumbling block. So looking at the Federation of Small Business and their agenda for growth, they actually did a report on the skills needs of small businesses, and you can see on that chart there, sales and marketing and PR and IT came out as the highest skills areas that they identified. Really importantly for us as well is that they identified those 2 skill areas as the ones that they would most likely invest in. So it was quite heartening for us in terms of developing this program that we wanted to develop something that they would see that there was a need for, and that they could see a reason why they would want to invest in it. So this program is targeted. You can see the sort of target audience there, and it's a key summary again from that Britain's Digital Opportunity report. There are 2 particular audiences that we're not necessarily targeting. We wouldn't necessarily want to target the shooting stars or the deliberately disconnected. The program that we've developed is around supporting those emerging advocates, supporting those enthusiastic chasers, and those ones that are in the middle who feel that maybe they're slightly advanced, but they still want a little bit of extra support. So the program we've developed, and we've developed the program in partnership with the Association and Town and City Management, in order to really embrace, maybe a small business might already have a website, but they're not using it to its full capacity, or they may not have any online presence at all. So we're giving them the foundation to actually take their business to the next level. And why would they want to do it? Well, there's a huge opportunity out there. There's 18.8 billion of turnover growth potential just by getting online. 25% of the total sales will go online by 2020, and it wouldn't surprise me if that figure actually increases. We all shop differently, and I'm sure amongst the audience there was quite a lot of warm delegates who really already embrace social media, and I'm sure that most of you are actually doing that via m-commerce and via your mobiles, which is the fastest growing channel. So that's going to give us a real opportunity, but at the same time it's going to be a real issue if SMEs are not, if our small businesses are not actually embracing the opportunities that the internet provides. Convenience is key for us, and you know, if you're like me, I use Amazon, and I can order something and it can be here the next day. I no longer have to go into the town centre now to actually order what I need, and I can get it delivered to my door. So if the SMEs, if the small businesses are not actually embracing it, they are missing out on that opportunity. So what have we done? The program itself, the Digital High Street Skills program, is split into two phases. Phase 1 is all about the development of the 3 modules, which I'm talking to you about now. And the modules have been developed in order to inform and give confidence. And what we didn't want to do with this program was to really try and baffle them with technology and to give them a fear of the not knowing. We want to give them the information, we want to give them the knowledge, we want to make sure that they feel comfortable in asking the right questions. We launched the program to our stakeholder audience last week in Leicester, as Jane mentioned earlier, and we are launching tomorrow to our smaller businesses, and we hope that you will help us to get the message out about this really new and exciting program. Phase 2 is all about more advanced modules and helping those who've gone through the first phases of the program to go on to the next level. So more in detail, and they'll be following on, and the development of that program will start in July 2014. So our Phase 1 program is, we've set ourselves some quite challenging targets as a partnership. We want to train 3,000 businesses, and those 3,000 businesses will go through each of the modules. We ideally would like to have 50 trainers across the country, so if there are any trainers out there that are interested in attending the training, then please let us know. We want to be delivering the program in 75 locations across England and delivered throughout the UK by the end of 2014. So some challenging targets there, but I think with your support we'll be able to make sure that we reach those. So I mentioned before the research that we did in order to develop the program. We also wanted to understand what businesses felt about current levels of training that was available. And what they were saying were things like websites are too expensive, they don't understand and they don't know how, that the 24/7 is too overwhelming, and the fear factor of the not knowing and the lack of privacy. We have tried with this program to really address those key barriers, and I think, judging from the pilot that we run, we have been really successful in doing that. So I'll take you through a few case studies a little bit later on. So what is the program? We've developed the program to, as I mentioned before, inform and help the businesses to develop a strategy which is right for their business. And I've bolded the right for their business because this is a real key, important aspect for our delivery, in that we don't want a business to necessarily think that they've got to be able to sell online. I live in a local village in the High Peak, and my local village is Whaley Bridge. There's a little dress shop there who goes out on a Sunday to a wholesaler to get a stock in. And while she's there, she takes pictures and she posts them on Facebook. And by Monday, she's sold 50% of her stock. So, you know, they don't have to have a transactional website to actually be successful online. And this program shows them how to actually do that. Module 2 takes them through how to actually get the business online without it costing the earth, whether it be just a Facebook page or an eBay shop. And Module 3 is about how to actually, once you've got your proposition and your offer, is to how to actually drive more footfall to it, utilizing social media. And we take them through some really handy top tips that they can implement within their business almost instantly. And one of the case studies that I'm going to talk you through a little bit in a little while is Randall, the jewellers in Altrincham. And he actually noticed his turnover. He had on the second Saturday after attending the course, it was his busiest ever Saturday, and he said that that was down to the fact that he had been tweeting personally and inviting people to look at his stock and to really engage with him, and it's just a fantastic of social media and this whole program. So into the program and what it consists of. Module 1, as I've mentioned before, is all about understanding the customer and digital marketing. It covers the basics of the marketing right through to online channels. And we give them templates so that they can go away and do a whole strategy for their business. So I bolded it in before about how it had to be right for their business. This is the opportunity. If you don't actually know who your customers are, how do you know how to market to them? And this program gives them the tools to develop that strategy, which will help to build their customer loyalty. And it also helps them to actually understand the different channels that are available to them and how they might use them successfully going forward. Module 2 is about how to actually develop the business online, so introduces them to online, e-commerce and multi-channel. And we actually talk them through why it isn't optional for them to not be online, and actually what they're missing out on if they don't actually embrace this. So the module helps to demystify what's required in order for them to get online. It introduces e-commerce, multi-channel and the benefits that can bring to their business. And it covers a number of options, as I already mentioned. Part of the program, there's a series of downloads, so once they've gone through the program, those downloads will be available for them afterwards so that they can work through them at their leisure. But all of the programs, at the end of each module, each business will go away having learned something brand new that they can implement in their business almost straight away, and in some cases actually on the session, because in module 1 we actually take them through Google Places. It was amazing in the pilot how many of the businesses on that program hadn't actually registered their own business on Google Places, and they hadn't realized it was actually free. So a huge learn there from our perspective, how much we think our small businesses already know. Module 3 is all around how you grow your business through social media, and this is where we introduce them to blogs, to social media and rich content, which will actually help to drive their search engine optimization and actually develop the strategy, again, which is right for their business. So understanding the future power of social media and how it can help to drive footfall. And as I mentioned before, there was the successful case study with Randall's. Right, so the launch businesses. Tomorrow we're going to be sending out quite a number of campaigns. We're going to be tweeting, we're going to be Facebooking. We hope you'll support us, we hope you'll retweet us, because all of you people that were out there that were warm and those real hotties out there can help us in terms of promotion of our campaigns, not just for this program but also for Independence Day. We are going to be utilising the case studies from the launch. We've got some really good videos which we'll be sharing, and we will be tweeting those out through the social media campaign to actually raise awareness of the programme. I mentioned before the jewellers in Altrincham, Randall's, and Martin Dust, a lovely man, came to our launch last week for us at the Leicester Conference Centre and the Future High Street Conference. and was really, really positive about the program. And this quote that we got from him was after his first module. It was amazing to find out some of the quick, easy, free things that we can do to help promote what we have on offer via the internet. And this was one of the businesses that hadn't registered on Google+. So he was blown away by that, just that one little tip, and actually registered him on the actual session itself. So he was going away buzzing. This is Siobhan, and Siobhan has a little florist in a trader's outlet. There's a number of traders that all work together from one unit. And this is a lady that was a little shy to start off with, really wasn't sure that she was going to get a lot from the program. And you know, when I mentioned before about businesses feeling overwhelmed, this was music to my ears when she said what she said, because she said the course was very good and it was nice not to feel overwhelmed. And you know, there's a video of Siobhan as well, talking about, you know, how she's going to go away and put into practice what she's learned on this program. So very, very powerful, and you know, as I say, it really enlightened me that we had got the level of information right for these programs. So that finishes it for me. I'm going to hand you back over to Jane in a moment, and there will be time for questions, and I noticed there were a few questions popping up, so we will try and answer those at the end of the presentation. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you, Tracy, for that, and thank you for those that have posed questions, and we will come back to those. So just to sort of bring it all together, I want to share with you our campaign for Independence Day 2014. This is our 4th year, and the difference this year is that it is about our high streets. It's the whole of the visitor economy getting involved in this. And so working with a variety of partners, including the Association of Town and City Management, with yourselves, local authorities, local enterprise partnerships, and with trade associations that are responsible and work closely with small businesses, we really want to get to the heart of these small businesses to help them be better at communicating with their customer and providing a fabulous service, culminating on the 4th of July with events and a real experience where we're really promoting getting our local consumer to come out and find just what they have on their doorstep. So buy locally on the 4th of July has always been our sort of mantra with this Independence Day campaign. So about the campaign, it's going to be launched tomorrow, so it's really important to be talking to you today. It is the end of English Tourism Week as well, so again it's really important to make sure that we tie it into the fact that this is about our local consumer using our towns and our high streets, but it's also about ensuring that our tourism, our customers, our visitors that come from elsewhere just know about what we are offering in our centres across the whole of the visitor economy. It's organised by People First. It is in its 4th year. Last year, incredibly successful. We had David Cameron tweeting his support, and we know this year that we have government support again, and not just all the political parties are very supportive of Independence Day. It is seen as incredibly important in this country to support our small businesses. So it is a national campaign. It's about promoting and celebrating the diversity and mix that we have in our high streets, in our regions, towns. And it is about, again, raising the awareness of the contribution they make to the local community. You know, you and I know how invaluable having a vibrant high street, and that's having the whole of the leisure, retailing, hospitality experience there and available, makes to the whole ambience of living in a particular area. So it's really demonstrating that. And it's about also for us this year, very importantly, upskilling our independent businesses to ensure that they are communicating with their customers, using social media, letting people know what they have on offer, not just for the 4th of July, but literally to start growing and developing their businesses. So this year the campaign is going to focus on support for small businesses, working with yourselves as partners locally to make sure that they provide the best service and that they have the best way of communicating. So what I'd like to know from you now, and this is a bit of work for you to do, is to go to a new poll, and I'd like to ask you to share how many of you on the call were involved in Independence Day last year or the previous years. So just to give you a minute to, the poll is open, to just type in your response to that. Okay, so the poll is coming through. Right, it's done. So we've got some real opportunity here, because we can see that nearly 3/4 of the audience today weren't involved in Independence Day. So what we'd really like you to do is to become really aware of what the objectives are, and also how to get involved and what you can do to support your local community. So it is about promoting and celebrating our diversity in our centres. It is about raising the importance of independent businesses among the consumers. We know that people want variety and that they want to have that mix. Our national businesses are equally as important, so it's about the balance that we have. And also to provide an opportunity for you to do events and to get things going on the 4th of July. Get your customers out into your high streets, into your centres, provide them with a reason to come out to you. So lots of great ideas from last year that we will be sharing with people about what you can do to support. I'm very happy to talk to you about that, and we'll share contact details in a bit. So it is about raising awareness of that support through this campaign, and most importantly about improving those skills that those businesses have to grow their business, not just for one day of the year, but actually as a long-term aim. Campaign supporters for 2013. Tomorrow we will be announcing the supporters, and you'll see many of those names actually there again this year coming, and more names as well, of key people in terms of support for our independent businesses. So that will be coming out in press releases, which will, as I say, come out tomorrow. So why should you, local authorities, let bids, get involved? Well, this is a real opportunity to work nationally, but also very importantly making it local, making it available to your consumer, and finding a way of engaging that works. So supporting and promoting your businesses, encouraging businesses to collaborate, and Tracy mentioned in the Digital High Street programme the importance of getting businesses to work together. It gives a much more powerful message on your high street. Giving you also an opportunity to engage with local media and those businesses, and encouraging the public to shop locally, to give them an experience that encourages them to come back out and use the high streets effectively. And that's really about helping our businesses to grow and thrive at what's been quite a difficult time. So to get involved, we provide a huge amount of supporting materials. The collateral is all available on our website, www.indieday.co.uk. We will send this presentation with all the details there. You can get a variety of different material, from the Independence Day logo, posters, banners, postcards, buttons to link to the Independence Day web page, and also press release templates to support you in making it really easy to get involved in this process. So how do you get involved? It's about emailing your businesses about the campaign, helping spreading the message and encouraging SMEs to get involved, sending out that material, writing the press releases, and including features of the campaign in your newsletters and on your website. So some of the great initiatives that are happening from independent businesses and also from localities, providing some really excellent customer incentives to get into their business and on your high streets. So getting involved, using those social media platforms. So really good to see in the poll that we have such experts already, so we won't need to do as much training with yourselves around tweeting, sharing Facebook posts, taking photos, getting them up there, sharing those photos on Facebook and Twitter, etc. And making sure that you add that campaign logo to your email signature with hyperlink to the Indie Day website. So really promoting your businesses in your locality. And then also the opportunity for you to organise development, training, mentoring sessions for your businesses to make sure they are really getting involved in being better at communicating and getting the customer in their premises. So the offer is about getting the digital high street program out there. It's about getting the customer service to be better through the world host. Tracy's talked to you about that. We've got some offers and packages that we're happy to share with you and how you can do that. So we'll communicate with you individually. So what we're very keen to know, and I think this is probably time to do the next poll, which will be to ask you just to state which of the programs you're most interested in delivering, or whether it's both. So there's an opportunity for you now to tick what you'd like to find out more about so that we can come back to you after this session. So just going to give you, there we are, that's great, it's all coming in. Excellent, thank you. So we're seeing that there's a real interest. Obviously, the digital high street is key, and a good interest in the world host. So we will be able to come back to you and have those meaningful conversations. Thank you for that. So how do you get involved right now? You can email indieday@peoplefirst.co.uk about your plans in 100 words, in a paragraph, to let us know the type of events, the way that you want to work with your local businesses to get involved would be really useful. Last year, just to remind you, we had over 200 locations and hundreds and thousands of small businesses getting involved across the whole of the UK. All 4 nations took part. This was a great result, but we're not happy with that. We want as many towns and locations, whatever their size, absolutely getting behind supporting our small businesses. So let's just make it bigger than ever this year. In terms of timeline, just to give you that timeline again, and again, we sort of said it several times, but just to make sure you're aware, tomorrow is the campaign launch. That's the 4th of April. That gives us 3 months exactly to the 4th of July, and it is about campaign day. So at that point, we want to really be able to announce that we've got digitally aware, socially communicating with customers through our fabulous SME businesses in our high streets and locations. And also to be able to say which locations have been involved, and we're also working with Biz on doing some high-profile events across the country to really highlight the excellent work that's been happening out there in those localities. So do get involved with us straight away at the start of it. It helps us to help you going forward. So there's some details about contacting us. We are going to send this, as I say, out to you, so you will have a chance to come back to us individually as well. So that leaves us with the final poll. So the final poll at the start, we saw that we had a percentage of you that hadn't been involved in Independence Day. How many of you now would like to find out and get involved in Independence Day for 2014? Okay, it's all looking very positive. Everybody's wanting to get involved in some way, so that is absolutely fantastic. We're really happy to work with you and share with you some thoughts and ideas. And in fact, on a previous webinar to share this, the launch of Independence Day, we had some really good examples coming through of what people are thinking about doing for this year in their locality. So thank you very much for participating in that. And now it really is over to you. We're going to unmute, well, we're going to give you actually an opportunity to put your hand up. And in that hand up, you'll be able to, we'll unmute you so that you can ask questions of either Tracy or myself. We're both going to be available to answer those. Okay, so while we're waiting for people to put their hand up, there is the first question there is from Sarah Danson. So what type of trainers are you looking for? Could these be existing ICT or creative small businesses? So Tracy, I'm going to ask you to answer that for me, please.
Yeah, we are looking for trainers at the moment and recruiting quite vigorously. So if there is anybody that you think would be suitable, and I think the key thing for us is that they have delivered some form of training previously, and where they have got sort of a basic level of social media ICT is quite important, because they will need to give that knowledge back to the small businesses. The most important thing for me is they've got to be passionate about wanting to support small business, and so long as they've got an appetite, they will then potentially go out and do their own research, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people that will search out new solutions for the businesses, and we will train them to make sure that they have the basic knowledge. So they've got to have a passion, and they've got to have a desire to want to work with small businesses. And in some ways, if they've got retail experience, that's always helpful as well, because they know how to interact with people on a sort of wider level. And the majority of the businesses that we think will be coming through the program will probably be retail. So it will be useful for them to have that background. But we can send out the criteria if you are interested.
Excellent. Thank you, Tracy, for that. So next question is, thank you, Sarah Crow, for your sort of comments about the presentations. Yes, obviously they will be available, definitely. They'll be coming out to you in the next day. And then Tracy Hales, you talked about whether there's an opportunity for you doing the 3 modules, and absolutely, I'm going to pass you back over to Tracy, but yes, there is every possibility in that.
Yeah, certainly. I'll contact you, not after this, but on Monday. I'm actually on holiday tomorrow, but I'll give you a call on Monday if you just want to let me have your telephone number, and we can have a chat, and I can give you the dates of when the next training is available.
And then the next question is, does independence have to be done only on the 4th of July, or could it be done on the 5th or 6th? I think that's a really valuable question. Obviously, there'll be a huge amount of media coverage on the 4th, but the 4th is a Friday, the 5th and the 6th obviously lead a huge opportunity to make it a real weekend of it. So I think you just talk to us about how you want to do it, and I'm going to pass over to my colleague Kerry Burgess, who's in the room, from our comms and marketing, to just give her feedback on that.
Yes, I mean, we've seen in previous years the day that Independence Day falls on, obviously being the 4th of July every year, it doesn't always work for certain locations when it's fallen on a Wednesday or a Thursday in previous years. Very often certain locations have moved it to a weekend activity, either the weekend before or the weekend afterwards, just to make the most of the footfall. So by all means, locations need to do what works best for them, and we would encourage activity at any point around the 4th of July. We've seen in the past that it works for local councils, LEPs and so on. So do what suits you best and what's best for your location, and obviously we're here to support you on that as well.
Excellent, thank you. And then following on, I think, from that, Becky, you've posed a question to say that you do a family fun day the weekend before and advertise all the special offers from the business. Is this a problem? Absolutely not. I think going back to Kerry's point, you can be leading up to the 4th of July. You can be mentioning that that's part of the campaign and the way that you're working it. So I think, again, it's about, you know, what fits and works for your locality to make independence feel supported and to get them to the level where you really are getting the best footfall. So that sounds like a great event as well. Thank you for that. I'm going to ask, we've got no hands up. People have been very good at typing up, which is really useful for us actually, because it means we can capture all of your questions and then share them with other people as well. Is there anybody else that would like to speak, put hands up, or to type any other questions before we finish the session? Okay, right. I'm going to take that as a sort of a no for the moment. I'm going to ask Tracy to just kind of do literally a 1-minute summary of what you need to do to just get involved in the campaigns, especially with the launch, the recent launch of the Digital High Street Programme. So over to you, Tracy.
Hi everybody, thanks ever so much for your time this afternoon. I know it's difficult when you've got busy schedules, so we do appreciate you joining us. Just to let you know that we have got, up until the end of July, we have got some employer ownership funds. So for any of your retail businesses out there, we can offer subsidies with some of the training that we are offering. So when we send out the presentations, if you are interested in getting involved, then we will be able to contact you individually, and we'll start that contact as from next week, and we can also talk to you then about Independence Day and how you might get further involved. So we would like to be able to do that on a sort of one-to-one basis, because we know that everybody's needs are slightly different. So where you may want to identify your own local trainer, if you don't have a trainer, we can identify one for you. So it's useful for us to have those conversations directly.
Thank you, Tracy. And just a final question that's come up from Becky. If you contact us in the first instance, we will then, as Tracy's just alluded to, put you in touch with the nearest provider of the Digital High Street Programme and World Host, etc. So we will very happy to contact you. As you'll see on this final slide, there's some contact us details as well. So really happy to hear from you after this conference call. And just a thank you for staying with us and participating, and look forward to speaking to you individually as well and hearing from you as to how you're going to get involved in the Digital High Street Programme and the Independence Day campaign for 2014. Thank you very much, and have a lovely afternoon.
Thank you.